Hello.
So, she said a few things. She goes, one of the things that lowers it is that if his truck was in Maine and he had to pull his own insurance policy, it would be a lot more. Yeah. So that helps. He's got driver's ed, and we get a 10% discount because we bundled our homeowners with safety on our auto
Hello,
policy.
Hello.
how's it going?
You got me?
Yeah.
All right. It's going good. We have our fourth episode of the Patriot Cast today. We will be talking about the Bengals and the Patriots recap of week 1, and we'll be going into week 2 for the Seahawks versus Patriots at the home opener. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a fun one today.
Bill, give us your first impression of the game. You're watching the game. Like, what's your first thoughts?
All right. So my first thoughts is like I'm excited for this. I've told many people that we're gonna start off 2-0. Our team's gonna start off 2-0, and they just yell back at me and all the doubters, I guess you could say, like
Like
it's great.
me? I doubted it for sure.
You were one of them, and it's a sign of it's just relief that they won. And like coming into the game, I had high expectations for them, especially with our defense. I thought our defense was going to be a huge part into us winning, which they were, and our offense really wasn't. Our offense didn't do as much as I thought they would, to help us secure the win, but they did what they did, and that gave us a win. So, Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Let me build on what you just said because I have to disagree. The
Really?
offense did a really good job keeping the defense off the field.
Yeah.
Okay? So when it comes to defense, like if they're on the field too long, good luck trying to win the game with defense. But the
Hmm.
offense, the game plan was to run the ball. That was no secret. And it's going to be, according to Gerard Mayo, the game plan for the whole season. So the whole season is run the ball and play off that, which is not a bad plan.
What's the problem with that? Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah. And say they run the ball all season, that's fine. And then you get to put Drake May in. I mean, at this point, we just won a game without Drake May. Without we're a first round pick, third overall pick. We won the game without him. Um, now, and we also won the game without Jalen Polk, our second round pick, who got no targets all game. He got 0 targets, and we still managed to come up with a win. So that could be saying that Bill Belichick put us in a good spot for success. I mean, it might not be. I might be on a different track, but I mean, I don't know.
No, I think you're right, and that's something that I've been thinking for a long time. I'm like all the haters last year. I'm thinking, you watch, the Patriots will do well, and people have to admit that Belichick had something to do with it, like a lot to do with it. Okay, he made a few mistakes in the draft, a few choices that were unpopular, but he made a lot of. He handed over the keys to a pretty good team with a bad record, and I think there's an important distinction there. You can be a good football team and have a bad record. I don't subscribe to the Bill Parcells. You are what your record says you are. Well, okay, all right. I think you're more than that because some of these games that they lost last year and that they might lose this year is like one decision or two, maybe even inches here or there, that they lose the game. Okay? And does that mean they're a bad team? No, on a play or two, they didn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, that wasn't what we saw on Sunday, though. We saw a team that managed the game very well, right? And there were some opportunities. When you look back at the film, Hooper was open at least once or twice that Brissett
Yeah.
really could have chucked it down the field. We could have put more points on the board. Same thing with Hunter Henry. I think he was open, and I think he did a quick check down or something to Stevenson when really he was playing it safe a few times. I don't know that May would have done that. I feel like in those instances I was like, yeah, May would have thrown it and he would have nailed him.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I didn't see as much as that. You definitely saw more of that. I didn't watch all the angles um of the game, so and I didn't really watch it too in depth. I kind of looked more at the numbers and not just the numbers, but also the formations that we started in and the just the setups at the beginning of the play. I feel like that kind of mattered a lot last season, especially changing an offensive coordinator this year to Alex Van Pelt. Um, it's all new formations, so that's going to be a huge part into how our offense plays, even our defense too. But speaking of the defense, I kind of want to talk about them right now.
Yeah.
Keon White, probably one of my favorite players in the defense right now. I came in, me and you, probably one of the biggest podcasts into Keon White. But we came in high expectations on him, and he proved us right. He gave two and a half sacks, 2.5 sacks with 38 snaps all game. He played 79.2% of the game with Bentley, Peppers, Douglas, and Gonzalez all having 48 snaps, which they had the most snaps in the defense. Um, Keon White is number 3 in the league right now in sacks, and last year he wasn't even close to the leaderboard. So that just shows all the development that he and all the growth that he had throughout the past year. I get that he was hurt, but still, he put up 1 sack all year last year, and answers with 2.5 in the first game of this new year. So he already has more sacks than he did all last year. So just in one game, he had the first play of the first drive. He had a strip sack, which brought Burrow down. And then yeah, the pass and run game, they were just on fire, especially the front seven. So they were excited to watch. I kind of watched that first strip sack of Keon White in depth a little bit, and he just got right by Trent Brown to the point where Trent Brown, he is so big where he just couldn't really move. Like he was too big to move around at that point. Um, so he just got right by him, and Trent Brown just couldn't really do anything about it. And then their center, I believe it was Ted Karras,
Yep.
doubled up Devon Godchuk, and Keon just got right by and got him. And I think that was probably one of my favorite plays of the game, just because um me and you were both coming into the game loving this guy and having a lot of expectations to him. And again, like I said, he answered.
So that was your favorite defensive play of the game?
Yeah.
All right. Mine, I watched it like 5 times. And
All
I
right.
want to I want to turn it into a GIF and like I don't know, put it on my phone or something. John Jones. What quarter was it? It was the fourth. It was like 4th and 2 or something. Um, when was that? The third quarter? I'm going on my memory right now, which is not the best idea. Yeah, the third quarter was 4th and 2 when he tackles. I forget that. I couldn't get the number. Um, he runs like I don't know, 15, 20 yards, like a bullet, right? And takes him out, tackles him. I think like well before the first down, there was no conversion. Just grabbed him and took him down. It was
Yeah.
see that kind of hustle a lot, but you don't always see them connect like that. I John Jones is one of those guys. He's a Super Bowl champion. Like he goes back to the second dynasty, um, and played in some key situations. I mean, he didn't get the love that he really deserved until like maybe the last few years, but he's
Yeah.
always been a really good player. And you watch him against certain matchups, and he really makes it happen because he's quick and he's smart. And if there's a guy out there, some of these fast guys, who are the quick guys? Tyreek Hill, right? It's the
Yeah.
first one that comes to mind. Like you watch John Jones against Tyreek Hill. We'll come back to this. When's the Dolphins? Is that week 5?
Week 5. Yeah, week
Yeah,
5.
we'll come back to this. We'll see who's getting matched up with Tyreek Hill. I might be wrong, but I think you're gonna see John Jones has that in him. He's been injured maybe a couple times in the last 5 years, so maybe that gets in the way of him getting like recognition that he deserves because it's hard to mount all those stats, and that seems to be what people care about more, right?
Yeah.
But like what I care about is just awesome plays. Yeah, look at the third quarter. It's a 4th and 2, I think. He just comes right down the sideline, because they're trying to go to the edge a lot at that point, and they just can't. Burrow had a hard time throwing the ball. I think he might have been really hurt. Like they said, it was his wrist. I don't know what
Yeah.
was it.
He
His
definitely
right
could.
wrist.
I think it was his throwing wrist.
You know. But yeah, that's my favorite play. There was a bunch of good plays. Um, was it? Was it? I keep on wanting to say Bentley, but
What are you thinking of?
the goal line um punt when he punched out the ball and Marcus Jones
Oh,
grabbed it.
was that Duggar?
Was it? It was Duggar. It was
Yeah,
Duggar.
I think it was
Yeah,
Duggar.
I'm getting all like Bentley's a pass safety, right? He's not. Is he even on the roster anymore?
Bentley, yeah, he's in the roster.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
did he play any snaps yet on
Yeah,
it?
he played the most snaps.
Really, I've been really really focused on certain players, you know,
Yeah.
and
I'm the same way too. I'm like, yeah.
a lot of these rookies, I want to see what they're doing, um, but the
Even
camera.
second year players. Sorry to
What?
interrupt. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
even second. Yeah.
exactly. No, 100%. So yeah, that overall, the defense played an amazing game. You know,
Hmm.
and it's not surprising to me at all. Um, I've heard this several times. I think Teddy Bruschi used to talk about it. Edelman talked about it a bunch on his podcast. That Gerard Mayo would do his own like film study, and he would even like meet with guys like on a Saturday and do his own. Brady would do that too, but like Gerard would do it, and several times like the things that Gerard told them is what it took to win the game.
Yeah.
And that's come up again recently. Um, and players even said that the things that Gerard told them, in these meetings, is exactly what it took to win the game. Like he's very humble, and I don't think he's like outspoken about his football IQ, but I think his football IQ might be just off the charts. Like Belichick
Yeah.
off the charts. Maybe he
Yeah.
doesn't have the history and experience that Belichick has, but he definitely has the capacity and understanding of the game, and the ability to see things, patterns
Yeah.
emerging that teams are leveraging to win.
Yeah. I agree. And with him coming from working with the defense, like working with the linebackers, that was a strong suit. I mean, even just playing as a linebacker, um, he has like what you were saying, the IQ, um, and he's a good. I mean, from what I've focused on, he's a good teacher, and because he learned from the guy that was also a good teacher, Bill Belichick. So
Yeah,
yeah, I agree with everything what you just said about our head coach Gerard Mayo. I'm gonna kind of turn over to the offense. Look at some look at what happened with them. So as I already mentioned, Polk, no targets on him, which I was surprised. I thought he'd get like a touchdown or something, but Polk had no targets. Austin Hooper led the team in yards, receiving yards, with just 29, I think it was.
Yeah, because he
Which
had only 2 receptions, averaging around 15 yards each.
yeah,
Right? Or
yeah. So
maybe he only had. Did he have 4 targets or 3 targets or?
uh 4 or 3.
You know,
I can't
and I think
remember.
Hunter
It was
Henry
4. It was 4. Yeah.
Hunter Henry had a couple of receptions, and I think he averaged a little bit less than 15, maybe
Yeah,
closer to
he
10.
yeah, he averaged 9.
9. Okay.
Um yeah, and then Hooper got 31 yards. Tyquan Thornton getting second in yards, which I mean, we were kind of on the fence with Thornton back in preseason whether is he either going to make the roster, is he going to be the second string receiver? We had no clue. Or is he going to turn into like a fifth string receiver and you just put him in when you need him? But like I had no clue coming into the season what I was going to expect from Tyquan Thornton. But as of this game, we saw KJ Osborne, Tyquan Thornton, and Demario Douglas for the starting 3 receivers, which is something that I definitely saw a lot of in training camp. I saw those 3 guys a lot together in starting lineups. So I don't know what to expect with those 3 receivers. I don't know if we'll be expecting more of them, but yeah. And I mean the run game is also great. Ramondre, um, plenty of yards. I don't know how many, but I think did he break 100?
Vermont. Yeah. I thought it was
That's what
like.
I thought.
Was it 120?
120. Yeah, exactly. Good job. Um,
And hey,
yeah,
I
he.
didn't look up these numbers. I got my computer here, and I barely know how to turn it on sometimes. All right, so.
All right. Um, yeah. So Ramondre got 120 yards with 25 attempts. I mean, like you said, Mayo wants to keep up with the run game, and I like it because if you don't have a team that you can really, really, really trust with their receiving core, then you can always count on your two running backs, Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson, even Jermichael Hasty. I mean, we didn't see anything of him, but we could be seeing him later in the season. But um, I also found a stat earlier that I was gonna share. Keon White and Jawan Bentley both their sacks, 3.8 seconds after the snap, quarterback was gone. So I think it's gonna be fun to watch in the season.
Oh yeah, and on the running game thing, like the run game, I kind of flipped the thinking from what you just said that if you don't have anybody to pass to, you got guys to run the ball. I actually flip it around and say, look, you run the ball and you show them how they're never going to guard the C gap against some of these guys, and Ramondre will just go through the A or the B, wherever the heck he wants to go anyway, because he's just that good, I think.
Yeah,
And then when it turns out we have people to throw to too. Notice that Brissett really spread the ball around, right? Like he really used the whole receiving core as often as possible. How many targets, how many catches did Pop Douglas have?
I believe when I saw it, I think it's
Yeah,
two targets, two
he's
catches,
big.
maybe.
Everybody got like enough targets to catch a couple balls, and they happened to be catches, with some yardage that they needed at that time, right? But back to that run game, like I thought it was pretty balanced, it including Brissett's run. He had a
Yeah,
declarative play, you know. Uh,
yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, and just like I heard some people saying like, "Oh, I didn't even know he could run." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like that's one of the things he's got, and I feel like Gerard Mayo has brought that up, and AVP have brought that up too.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I didn't know he could run 15 miles an hour or over 15 miles an hour. But
Did he run that
yeah,
fast? Really?
yeah, twice.
I mean, how many yards did he get? 14 yards on one of those runs?
Yeah, his highest run was 11
Okay.
yards, and he had 32 yards total in 7 attempts. So him and Gibson had the same amount of attempts with Hasty getting done.
Gibson's got to be
Um,
hurt or something.
what? Sorry.
Gibson's got to be hurt or something. Something's up with him. I feel like he's a better player than what we're seeing.
Yeah, I agree. I think he could be hurt with. I mean, he was definitely hurt back in August. I mean, he missed half a training camp, give or take. So yeah, I that's a great point. That's he could be hurt,
He also might
and
be smart and doesn't want to cause any problems that make it difficult by the middle of the season. What if he's trying to just get in there, try some things, and when it really matters, by week 7 or 8, maybe he's going to do something. But he's a guy that I'm always watching on the back burner because I've just seen flashes of him in the past on you know and
Washington, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like I'm like last year I started watching him a little bit. I thought he's got something going on. So when I
yeah,
saw him on the team, I was like, all right, like we can definitely. He's easily a number 2. And you and I are all about Hasty, and we should definitely that should be another Patriot focus thing. Like we got the Keon White thing, and we
yeah,
should also just lean into the fact that we both agree that Hasty could be something special.
yeah, yeah, for sure. When we look at the O line from this game, I kind of saw what we expected. Obviously David Andrews at center, Mike Onwenu at guard, and Chukwuemeka for at tackle. And then we had Michael Jordan playing too, and then Layden Robinson. So I mean, I'm okay with it. Our offensive line put up with the Bengals defense. I mean, BJ Hill, Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, those are strong guys, and those
Yeah,
guys are tough to beat. Especially with like Chukwuemeka. He played them twice last year. He played both those guys twice last year with the Steelers, and I mean, he held up. He held up with Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, I think he had Trey Hendrickson anyway.
he only
Um,
hold on a second. Okorafor lasted 12 snaps, didn't he?
Okorafor
Yeah,
last game,
yeah,
really? So then,
yeah. I think uh, I'm looking it up, but I'm pretty sure he didn't play very long, and then they
oh,
put Verdarian Low in.
oh,
Yeah, 12
yeah,
snaps.
I see that.
Yeah, so he's only in there for 12 snaps, and then Vidarian
Oh,
Lowe's in there, and I had to do a double take because I heard Lowe's name later on. I was like, wait, what's going on? That wasn't clear. I feel like this game was hard to follow as a fan trying to watch the personnel changes and all that. I just feel like in the past, maybe it was the way they were calling it. I think they were like talking through the plays a little bit, or I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was hard. It was harder though, to really get the full picture of what was happening by watching the game.
yeah,
Maybe it's that I'm expecting more these days than I used to, but
hmm,
yeah, are they going to win a lot of games like this, low scoring and run the ball and defense? Make key plays. Probably not.
no,
But
yeah,
it's a really good fundamental. Like it's a good base. From there you can build. You can build the passing game from the run game. And you can win with strong special teams and defense. And the defense only has to take the ball away once or twice. And special teams only has to give you good field position a couple times.
And that's what we did. That's
It's
that's
the
exactly
Bill
what we did.
it's the Belichick like formula. And they
Yeah.
executed it. Like last
Yeah.
year they had the same plan, they just didn't execute it.
Yeah.
This year they're executing. And we'll see what happens. I think I have a lot more confidence now. Um, I'm not saying that they're going to be a playoff team, but I am a little worried because, like we were talking about at the family party Sunday, like they're probably going to be middling, and that's going to suck
Yeah.
because they're going to have a middle. We're gonna be like the Jets all over again, like middling for 10 years. We'll and just trying to
Yeah.
keep good players. It's and that's me like doom stacking, like, oh, this is all crap. The other side of me is like, you know what? This could be really good. They could build on a team. Maybe they have like the 10th pick next year. Maybe they have the 12th. If.
I mean, I think they're gonna have the mid-20s.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
We're,
I think I think
you
an
and
eight
I
and
are on
nine record
opposite
is
ends. We're on the
what?
opposite ends.
Yeah, we are on the opposite ends, and it's always good to have that.
Yeah,
Have different opinions and different perspectives. But I also never mentioned this when we were talking about the defense, and I don't know how I forgot because I was actually kind of focused on my guys that I'm focused on, but Christian Gonzalez um lined up against Jamar Chase 20 out of 28 routes. So he only allowed 3 receptions for just 15 yards.
that's really good.
Across only 3 targets. That's incredible for Gonzalez. And we saw him last year against Tyreek Hill. He brought him to 0 yards, 0 targets, or 1 target and 1 interception. He brought him to 0 yards. These are at one point both those receivers are top 2 in the NFL, and right now Tyreek Hill's number 1 right now. I mean, I think it was you that mentioned last podcast that he could be the best receiver in history if he keeps up what he's doing, and I totally agree. But if we say that, we got to say Christian Gonzalez could be one of the best cornerbacks in history if he
Yeah,
keeps up what he's doing.
yeah,
Um, and
yeah.
and with him holding Chase to just three three receptions and 15 yards with Joe Burrow throwing too. I mean, that's incredible, I think.
A couple things to remember though is how much is Jamar Chase without T. Higgins? I think we saw.
Yep,
All
that's true.
right.
And how much is he without a contract?
Well, I mean,
Cuz
you still got to get out
he
there and produce.
yeah, but are you really going to play your best game when you're coming into the game unhappy? I mean, probably
Okay,
not.
it's not a good look for other teams. Your resume is your tape, your film. So
Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna want to put good film out there, and what better
true.
time to put good film than a game?
True,
So
yeah.
yeah, right. So I feel like no, I think he always played to win every time. I think he plays to win. Because it doesn't make sense otherwise. It would hurt his career if he didn't. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of think Jamar Chase might be Jamar Chase because of T Higgins. And Joe Burrow might be Joe Burrow
Yeah,
because of
Burrow.
Jamar Chase, T Higgins, and last year. Do they still have Boyd? Boyd was there last year,
No,
right?
they lost him. They lost him.
And those Boyd was a good number 3, right?
Good slot. He was great in the slot.
Okay,
So I think so they have to change Jamar to the slot now.
I'm
Or
just saying,
Higgins, I forget.
if you have 3 people you can throw to like that, you're gonna look good. You take out 2 of them, and the Patriots beat you. So
Yeah. And also we can't forget about Andre Iosivas, one of my sleepers from last year. Came into the league. Not many people knew about him. I kind of found out about him in like week 2 or so. And he looked good. I mean, he was the guy that I was talking about. He ran the 4.3 40 at 6'4". Um, So he's another guy that they also had to keep their eyes on, and he actually put up some good numbers on Sunday. So I wouldn't be surprised if I actually don't know who covered him. It might have been Jonathan Jones. I'm assuming it would have been if yeah, I'm assuming it was Jonathan Jones. But then they also have Mike Gesicki, who they have to cover, who had a great game.
He did.
And then they always have Zach Moss from the past. Like, yeah, they have other guys to cover except Jamar Chase with T Higgins being out. So um I do agree with you, but at the same time, Jamar Chase or at the same time, it's still an incredible stat, I think.
Wait, you said Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase had 6 receptions for 62 yards.
Oh no, that's when Gonzalez wasn't covering him.
Oh, you're just saying when Gonzalez was covering him. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you have to look at the all 22 and see when they're playing zone and see when they're playing man to man. When they're playing
yeah,
man versus zone, I think that changes the way Gonzalez performs. Or what you can expect from him. I think when it's man to man, it's hard for any receiver to be successful around him.
yeah,
But notice the whole team was like right on the reception. Like they caught the ball and they're on the ground.
yeah,
Like and okay, there was a reception, fine, but they got him on the ground right away, very consistently.
yeah.
You know that
Um,
that's huge, and part of that might have been um, the lack of T Higgins. Part of that could have been Joe Burrow's wrist or whatever, but part of it could be the Patriots are good.
yeah, and that's kind of what you got to face now. That's reality. Patriots are good. Patriots defense is good. And if you put in that game, if you put the Patriots offense with probably 75% of the league's defense, we would have lost that game. We would have gotten smoked. But since we have the defense that we have and the coaches that we have, we won that game. And I mean, what did Brissett throw? How many yards do you know? It was like 125.
Um,
I sorry to put
it,
you on the spot, but like
it was low. It was
very
very
low. Yeah.
uh
Um, it was 121,
huh yeah.
and
They're like one more yard.
Ramondre Stevenson rushed one more yard than him,
Well,
and
well
he did pass.
ah
And
so
then, but I mean, if we look though, Caleb Williams got 93 yards. I mean, the number one overall draft pick. So, can you have a bad game? Yeah, but are you just not a great player? I don't
it
know.
it might
But
be this could be a thing. It could be. You know how people say, "Oh, it's a much different game now." That's why people
yeah,
like Belichick just don't work. You
yeah,
know,
that's
ground
why
and
Brady doesn't
pound,
play.
right? The ground and pound, run game, defense will win on some turnovers. Like that doesn't work anymore. Well, what if, what if the league has gone so far in the direction of receivers and the passing game and spread the field and all that, spread the deep. You know what I mean? So what if it went so much into that realm of game planning and strategy scheme that some teams are like, let's get some guys that can stop this. Let's get some guys that can shut this down. Let's flip the script. What if a whole bunch of teams are shifting back to sort of a different way to play? We'll be able to come back to this later in the season, but what if it's a season of low scoring games on average? I'm curious, to look at that in maybe February.
Yeah, that's
It's possible, you
yeah,
know.
that's definitely possible.
So
Yeah,
it's something to think about. A long term pattern there. Like I tend to remember things like that. I remember when things started to change in terms of like the second dynasty for the Patriots was far more about the passing game. The first dynasty was very much how they won. I mean, they had some high scoring games. Don't get me wrong, but it was very much like the game plan that we saw Sunday.
Yeah. Um, I also have a question for you.
Yeah.
After seeing a whole game, how do you like the dynamic kickoff?
Um, I have to see more of it. Um, I kind of like it and I don't like it. I'd like more teams to just kick it into the landing zone.
Yeah,
When they just give up and go, oh, we'll take it at the 30. Is it the 30 that it gets placed?
it's something different.
You know, um, it's a field position that like benefits the receiving team. Um, so that's probably maybe to entice teams to kick it into the landing zone. Um, I don't know. What I really like is when the kicker nails it on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, and,
Like
and kickers have been doing good job. Kickers have
yeah.
been doing a good job with the landing zone stuff, which I'm
So
surprised.
I really like that part of it. As
Kickers have
far
a bigger role now.
yeah, and that could be really fun, but it's not going to be fun if every team just says, "Ah, whatever. We'll just smash it into the stands, kick it through the end zone, whatever."
Yeah,
Um, I'm not going to like it if that happens. If that happens, I'm like, "What's the point? Just put the ball at the 30 and walk away."
I mean maybe we can establish a fine, like a $50,000 fine if the ball gets out of the. No, that's stupid. But
You know, or just take away. Take away. I don't know. I think the incentive to kick it into the landing zone is there. I think teams don't want to start. Is it the 30 or the 35? It's the 30, right?
30, yeah, so 30.
So that's not a great place. It's not terrible, but that's not good for the kicking team. That's good for the receiving team. You want them, between the 10 and the 20, or really the end zone and the close to the 10. Like that's a good field
Yeah,
position for the defense.
yeah,
So maybe I'll like it. I think I'll like it if that's the way it goes.
I
But
like it so
we'll have
far.
to yeah, we'll have to see. It's one week. We're into our second week of football. Um, by the
Let's
way, did
talk
you
about
watch?
the second week of
Yeah,
football. Want to do that?
did you watch any? Did you watch the 49ers and uh,
In Jets.
yeah? Did you watch?
Um, not really. I had hockey that night, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch this.
I watched the first half,
Cause
and I watched the Manning cast with Bill Belichick,
yeah, I heard. Yeah,
and
how was that?
it was good. Like Bill lays it on thick. Like he basically tells you like everything that he would have been doing as a coach, and it's kind of fun. Uh, but like Rogers, you know, he he was okay. He was good. He was adjusting. You know,
Yeah,
he was the the 49ers are a good team.
yeah,
Like
they are.
if the Patriots played the 49ers, the
Week
49ers
four
would have scored 35 points and the Patriots would have like barely scored a touchdown. Maybe a
facing them.
couple.
Week 4.
Yeah, it's they're such a good team. Now, let's mark this, right? Because week 4 is coming up pretty soon here. I think the 49ers just what I saw against the Jets, like their defense is good. All right. The Patriots defense is good, but the 49ers have so many good players.
Yeah,
So we'll have to talk about that when the matchup is when that week comes. Would you say week 4?
yeah,
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that more, specifically the players and the matchups and all that. But I just kept on thinking like, wow, it's just so obvious how good the 49ers are.
yeah.
I thought the Jets are a good team. You know,
I I still think they are, and I got out and I was like, I saw the score and I'm like, is it really worth watching this? So I didn't watch it, and I don't know, but I want to go to week 2. I'm excited for this one. We have actually first before that coming out of week 1. Who are your 3 guys? What are your 3 ups and what are your 3 downs? You can do players, whatever.
Um, yeah. So the three
I can
up.
go first if you want.
Yeah. Well, let me go first here. I got it written down here. Three ups. Uh, Ramondre Stevenson, the best offensive player in that game, hands
That's a
down.
lock. Yep.
Right. Um, I really, I've always been all about Marcus Jones. I've always loved his playing. I just want him to stay healthy. I just think he can be such a great football player. He's always making plays that change the game.
Yeah.
Um, he's another one. And then I'm so torn because I want to say Keon White, but we kind of did. I kind of did that last week, so he's just going to be always one of my ups. Um,
Unless he's a
so
down.
what's that?
Unless he's a down.
Yeah, I
But
don't know. It
hope
depends on
we
what
won't
he.
see that much.
Probably not. Another up. So I got Ramondre, Marcus Jones. I want to see more from Gonzo, but he didn't play poorly. He played well.
No,
He
he played
moved.
well.
You watched that all 22, and he moves really well. He stays
Yeah.
right with the receiver, um, really, really well. Let's see. My third up. It's hard to choose. The name that keeps on coming back is John Jones. I'm just gonna stick with that for now for my three ups. The Marcus Jones, John Jones, and Ramondre Stevenson. The three downs. The players. I think. Let's see. I wanted more out of Pop Douglas. I don't think he played bad, but I wanted more from him. Also, who had the drop? Was it Polk that had a?
No, he didn't have
No,
any
I'm.
targets.
I'm. No, you're right. I'm conflating the Jets game. I'm watching I got that in my head because I watched it last night. Because there was a bunch of receptions that great throws that that were dropped.
Yeah.
Not to say poor Aaron Rodgers. I'm never gonna say that, but I kind of felt from a little bit like he was doing his job and they weren't doing theirs. But Patriots 3 down, definitely a core four.
Hmm.
I just can't have it, and give the coaches an up, for knowing their players and putting in the right guy at the right time and not waiting too long. It's 12 snaps. Okay, it's not working. Make a change. Like that's just good, strong leadership, which is exactly what I want to continue to see from Gerard Mayo. He says he's a good leader. Everyone says he's a good leader, and I think we're seeing that. We just want to keep on seeing it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a down. Second down. Um, Jacoby Brissett. I think he
Yep.
played a
I
good game.
agree.
He managed the game, but there was a few opportunities that he missed. And by the way, he didn't do anything wrong. Okay, so he didn't play a bad game, but
Yeah.
he
True.
could have.
Yeah.
He had opportunities that I don't think he took. You know,
I think um when he said he didn't do anything wrong, like that's not the problem, but that kind of is a problem that he's trying to avoid to do something wrong so bad to the point where he's doing something wrong. Like not throwing to a wide open guy. Like what you mentioned, Austin Hooper for an example. I guess he was a wide open guy that he missed. I even missed it, but um yeah.
yeah, and like I said, he actually played a lot better than I thought he was going to play. Um, you know, Full disclosure, I've probably only seen him play 2 Browns games and um, probably just as many Patriots games when he started all those games in the past. But I haven't seen him. That was better
Dad.
playing.
I'm sorry to interrupt your podcast, but
Yeah, and um for what you were picking up when you were talking about Brissett and like his what do you, like his trend like I don't know, when like messing up when he's trying not to mess up, I guess. And missing those guys, it's just that's a big part. And um yeah.
So, my last down, um my last down. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I yeah, I don't know. I didn't
We
prepare
didn't
my
we were a good team. We're a good team.
there's probably one out there. Uh
Yeah.
but you know, probably Gibson. I'm gonna go back
Yep.
to that one. I think he could do more, and it's not like a down like, oh, he just played a horrible game. It's just like, he played like he didn't really show us anything that we're looking for, and I've seen him do better than that with Washington. So that's a down.
Yeah. I
All right,
agree. I'm gonna go my ups and downs. So number one, gotta go Keon White. One guy that just gotta go. I'll probably be going him a lot in this season, but I still just gotta mention his name as much as I can. So we're gonna go Keon White for number one. Number two, I'm gonna go Brandon Schooler. He played a huge part in the special teams. I don't think he played many defensive snaps, but I know he like one of the this isn't why, but one of the snaps it was like 22.8 miles an hour that he clocked in for the gunner spot. So that was he was probably one of the guys that I had an up. And then another up that I would probably count is I'm gonna go Austin Hooper. He had kind of he didn't have that big of a role, but took on a big role that he really didn't have to take on. Especially with Hunter Henry kind of having some injury problems. Not, it was definitely a concern coming into the game with injury problems, but Hooper definitely put a less little stress on Henry to play well because Hooper played well. So, um, an honorable mention to Gonzalez, but I just feel like the others. I feel like Hooper, Keon White, and Schooler kind of had a bigger or a better playing. And also honorable mention to Ramondre. He definitely should have been in there, but he was kind of obvious, so I kind of wanted to put in put in the ones that um not your average Joe couldn't think of. And then trending down, I'm with you with the core four. Same reasons. You got to take them out and put in. I think it was City So that we put in. Was it
Vidarian Love.
Valerian Lowe? Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
my
I
bad.
think
City
so.
So's hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's hurt. Um, and then um, I'm gonna go Gibson. I don't know. I think you said that too, but um, Gibson was just not what I wanted him to do, and that's fine. I mean, there's a lot of trending down players from my fantasy team this week, so I'm just moving on. Yeah, we'll move on to Seattle, and then Dietrich Wise is another guy that I'm gonna put in for one of my down guys. He didn't stick out like I thought he would. On the other side, he was facing I think it was Orlando Brown that was on him all game, so he did have a challenge against him, but I kind of expected more out of our captain Dietrich Wise. So I don't know, maybe we can have a little more of him next week, but yeah, let's spend a little time on intro to Seahawks, but not too much. So coming to this game, I'm gonna say we're gonna win this. We have the home opener, we have the home advantage, we have the momentum from this win. I feel like just everything lines up to win this game and beat the Seattle Seahawks. They aren't the hardest matchup. They have, I think they won last week. Yeah, I think it was 26-0 or something. I do think they won on week 1 versus the uh,
Broncos.
Broncos. Yeah, Broncos. Bo Nix did terrible. Um, but yeah, some say they're a scary team, but I just can't see them beating the Patriots, especially in the situation that we're in. I mean, I bet a lot of people, a lot of even Patriots players kind of believed we don't have a shot in this game. We could get killed. We can get smoked. But um I mean, I bet there's definitely some that had the thoughts of them being able to win, and those are the guys that probably played through and played well. So one guy we're gonna have to watch out for is Kenneth Walker. He put up a great game last game. Scored a touchdown, and I think he rushed for like 84 yards and got some good receiving yards too. So we're gonna have to watch out for him. But other than that, I mean, they kind of lost a lot of factors with their defense. Tariq Woolen, cornerback, that we're gonna have to watch out for. He'll probably be on KJ Osborne. Maybe even Demario Douglas with all the speed that he has. He's a really really fast cornerback. So he'll probably be facing the slot, which Douglas. He might be facing Thornton too. I don't know, but we'll see. And then I mean, I'm not really afraid of Geno Smith, really. I think we'll get at least one pick from him. And then Zach Charbonnet, someone I'm not afraid of, but DK Metcalf. He only got held to 3 receptions last game, so I am not afraid of him at all. That's gonna be a great matchup. Gonzo versus Metcalf. Metcalf has the speed and height on him, but I mean Gonzo has the the mentality of over most corners in this league. The Not just the mentality, but the IQ of what to do and where to go. So I don't think that'll be a problem. It might They might even put him on um on Tyler Lockett and have Jonathan Jones on DK. I mean, we'll find out. They also have Jackson Smith and a Jigba. So so we'll see. It'll be an interesting situation with that side of the ball, but yeah, we'll see. What are your thoughts?
Um, I'm concerned that the Patriots are facing a better defense in the Seahawks than they faced with the Bengals.
Yeah,
So my prediction is boring like last week. It's either going to be 17-21 Patriots or Seahawks. I don't know who's going to win.
yeah,
So I'm going to have to leave it at that. I have nothing else because I don't think that Metcalf's going to do very well against the Patriots secondary. Um, but some people think he will. So,
yeah,
at the end of the day, when the whistle blows, they kick the ball and we find out.
yeah. That's a great way to put it. And yeah, so that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Um, Make sure to follow on Instagram Patriot Focus for any latest updates or um just updates to the podcast or anything. But again, thanks for Kevin for joining the podcast. And yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a good one, Bill.
Thanks, you too. Bye.